Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to review division of fractions, okay? Because we have a test tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to take your division of fractions test. Today we're going to review it, and we're going to do that by looking at word problems. And what we really want to focus on is the order in which we divide, right? Because when we divide, order matters. 5 divided by 4 is different than 4 divided by 5. We've got to really think today, what are we splitting up? That's the first number. How are we splitting it up? That's the second number. All right. But before we start here, we have two questions. All right. Let's just spend a second thinking about which one of these is multiplication and which one of them is division. Right. One of them is multiplication. One of them is division. Which is which? Let's read both of them and see if we can figure it out. George Washington had 18 elite soldiers. If only 1/3 of the soldiers had good boots, how many elite soldiers had good boots? And in this one, we see that Mr. Fishman spent the weekend working in his garden. He had 1/6 of a bag of soil that he spread evenly among his 2 garden beds. How much soil did he put in each garden bed? So right now, if you want to pause the video and just think for a second, which one is multiplication, which one's division? Pause the video and see if you can decide. All right. Did you make a choice? Which one's multiplication, which one's division? Well, in this case, we've got 18 soldiers. So let's draw a picture here. Here we have 18 soldiers. Let's imagine this box equals 18 soldiers. And we see that 1/3 of the soldiers had good boots. So let's see. Well, this is 1/3, right? So I just split the 18 into thirds. Let's say 1/3 of the soldiers had good boots. So in this case, we're taking a part of the whole. In this case, so I could say this is 1/3 of 18, right? Okay. How about this one though? Mr. Fishman spent the weekend working on his yard. He had 1/6 of a bag of soil that he spread evenly. So what did he do? Well, let's say he's got this bag of soil, right? But how much does he have? He actually only had 1/6 of a bag of soil. So let's split this into 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's only got this, right? He's got 1/6 of a bag of soil. And what's he going to do with that bag of soil? He's going to spread it evenly among his 2 garden beds. So we're actually taking that 1/6 and we're splitting it in half. This is really all we're interested in, right? What is this half of the 6th of the whole? So which one's multiplication, which one's division? Well, this one is multiplication, right? Because we're taking a part of the whole, 1/3 of 18. This one's division, right? Because we've got this 1/6 bag of soil and we're spreading it evenly, right? There's nothing even or equal or sharing going on here. We're just taking 1/3 of 18. In this case, though, we're taking our 1/6 bag of soil and we're spreading it evenly among 2 garden beds, okay? So how do we calculate this? Well, this one's easy, right? 1/3 times 18. How do we multiply a fraction by a whole number? Well, first we're going to turn this 18 into a fraction, and then we're just going to go ahead and multiply our numerators times our denominators. 1 times 18 equals 18. 3 times 1 equals 3. That's an improper fraction. How many times does 3 go into 18? Let's count it. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 3 goes into 18 6 times. So guess what? 18/3 is 6. So that means that 6 soldiers had good boots. 6 soldiers. I apologize for the handwriting. It's hard to write with the trackpad. 6 soldiers had good boots. So that's multiplication. I took a part of the whole. Now in this case, we've got a 6th bag of soil, and we're going to split in half, right? So in this case, we've got 1/6. And what are we doing to that 1/6? We're dividing it, or splitting it into 2 equal parts, right? He's going to spread it evenly among 2 garden beds. So how do we do this? Well, to divide fractions, remember, we keep the first fraction the same, we change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and we flip the last fraction, right? We multiply by the inverse, or the reciprocal, okay? So let's do that here, right? 1/6 divided by 2. So the 1/6 is going to stay the same, right? We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and then we're going to flip the second number. Now, in this case, it's a whole number. Well, what is this as a fraction? Let's turn it into 2 over 1, and then let's flip it, right? So 2 over 1 becomes 1 over 2. All right, now let's multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 2 is 12. There we go. That's our answer. It's already in simplest form. So that means that each garden bed is going to get a 1/12 of a bag of soil, right? And if we count this, and if we had to split this all up, right? Well, here's 1 out of what? There's 12 pieces, 1/12. All right, let's try a couple more. Now, these are all going to be division, okay? No more multiplication questions. But what we want to do now is we want to see if we can set up this division equation. Make sure that first number is the one that's going to be split up, and the second number is how we're splitting it up. So let's see here. Nancy's cutting bows out of ribbon to wrap gifts. She needs 3/4 feet of ribbon to make each bow. How many bows can she make if she has 9 feet of ribbon? So she needs 3/4 feet of ribbon. She has 9 feet. So how would you set this up? If you want to pause this video and set it up, go for it. What's being divided? How are we dividing it? What number goes first? Well, what are we starting with, guys? She has 9 feet of ribbon, right? That's what's being split up. She's got 9 feet of ribbon, and she needs 3/4 to make each bow, right? How many bows can she make? So in this case, we're going to do 9 divided by 3/4. How do we solve this? Again, keep the first fraction the same, change the division to a multiplication, flip the last fraction. Before we do that though, let's take this 9 and let's turn it into a fraction. Okay, so that's gonna be 9 over 1. So let's see, first fraction stays the same, turn the division into a multiplication, and flip the second fraction. A lot of you guys the other day were flipping the first fraction. 3/4 is gonna become 4 over 3. All right, now we can multiply. 9 times 4 is 36, and 3 times 1 is 3. This is an improper fraction, right? What's 36 divided by 3? Well, 3 goes into 3 once. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract is 0. Bring down the 6. And 3 goes into 6 twice with nothing left over, right? So 36/3 is the same thing as 12. So that means she's going to be able to make 12 bows, right? She's got 9 feet of ribbon. She's splitting it up into 3/4 foot pieces, right? How many 3/4 size pieces are in 9? 12. All right, let's try one more, guys. Brian has 3/5 pounds of gummy bears. 3/5 pounds of gummy bears. He wants to share the gummy bears with his 4 friends. How many pounds of gummy bears will each friend get? So let's start with this. What does Brian have? What's he starting with? Well, he has 3/5 pounds of gummy bears. What does he want to do with those gummy bears? He wants to share the gummy bears with his 4 friends. So are we doing this? Are we taking 4 friends? Oops. Are we doing, sorry. Are we doing 4 friends? Are we splitting those 4 friends into 3/5 pounds of gummy bears? Or are we taking those 3/5 pounds of gummy bears and splitting them up into 4 friends for our 4 groups? Go ahead, point at the screen. Which one do you think we're going to do? If you pointed at this one, you're right. Okay, we're not splitting 4 friends into 3/5. That doesn't make any sense, right? He has 3/5 pounds of gummy bears. He's splitting them up amongst 4 friends. So 3/5 divided by 4. How do we do this? Remember, first number stays the same, 3/5. Division becomes multiplication. Flip the second fraction. Now, 4 isn't a fraction, but we can make it a fraction by putting a 1 under it, right? And now we're gonna flip it. So 4 over 1 becomes, you're right, 1 over 4. Now go ahead and multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 4 is 20. Oops, not 24, 20. Can we simplify? Well, let me fix that 0 first, just so there's no confusion. Can we simplify? Is there a common factor between 3 and 20? Well, 3 can be divided by 3. 20 to be divided by 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. No, it can't. That means, guess what? This is in simplest form. So that means each friend is going to get 3/20 of a pound of gummy bears. All right, go ahead, guys, and try the problem of the day.